Welcome back to Singapore, everyone, for the Tanglewood TRC Cup. Last year when we came to the TRC Cup, we saw how Tanglewood and all the other rugby clubs were building up rugby right here in Singapore. But this time round, we see something different happening. First of all, we're seeing how rugby is diversifying here in Singapore with girls rugby. And then we notice there's a couple of guests who've come a long way to join us at the TRC Cup 2017.
So this year we've got 60 teams in age groups between 10 to 17. We've got teams from Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, from Australia. Very, very excited about more than 200 games of rugby being played over this 2 days. So in Singapore, what we're finding is that more and more kids are getting involved in rugby. We're becoming a far more inclusive club. Touch rugby or girls rugby.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
So 2 years ago, we started, my daughter wanted to play contact, and there were two of her friends that wanted to play contact. Decided to start training them to roll them in with the boys. But it turned out that more and more girls kept joining us, and now we're up to 75 odd girls.
We're a mixture of different clubs, so we've got girls from Tanglewood, we've got girls from Centaurs, we've got a girl from STC, and we're open to all players.
I like tackling people and aggression.
Like the scrums and the rucking involved.
Because you show the boys who's boss. The boys don't always think that the girls can play rugby, and then we show them that we can play rugby. Well, it's really funny to watch the boys lose against us.
If they're trying to throw the ball, they won't throw it to you, they just throw it backwards. I thought it looked really fun, and then I tried it out, and it was really fun. When I was little, I've always watched it, and it's always been a part of our family.
I love hitting people, I love everything about it.
So I just saw the coolest game between the Valkyrie girls and the Centaurs. It was 0-0 at full time, and then had to go into extra time, and the Valkyrie girls scored first. And then the Centaurs, even though they'd been up against it the whole game as far as position and possession were concerned, they came back and evened it up. So the game then went into some kind of a kick-off, who could kick the longest. And the Centaur boys kicked the ball a little bit further than the girls. It was a really good game, credit to both sides.
And for them to come together and bond, and they go to battle. They do their little battle on the field. They get muddy together, they hit each other, and they love it.
There's no doubt that the event's becoming more and more international every time we do it. The 15s concept is very, very strong. It pulls a lot of people in from around the world. Today we have 2 teams here from Australia.
Well, initially we were planning to play at KL against the Tigers. Found out that they were actually coming to a tournament here in Singapore. We thought it would be a good opportunity for us to come along.
We pretty much chose Singapore just because we thought it would be a good experience for our young fellas to come over here and experience something different besides going back home to New Zealand. Our team is probably 99.9% full of Kiwi boys.
What do you think about the rugby standard here?
Well, we've only played the one game. We played the Future Hope from India, and I was really impressed with them. Yeah, I thought the standard was excellent.
Compared to what we've been told about the rugby here in Singapore, they were pretty fit. They were pretty gutsy. Give our boys a good run for their money.
How has it been like working with Tanglewood?
Every opportunity they've assisted us with information, bookings, who to book through. It's been pretty smooth riding.
So would you recommend people come to Singapore to play rugby?
Definitely. Not just for the rugby, but for the experience and to learn different culture.
Good learning curve, good experience for the 15-year-old boys. They've met people from all walks of life.
But while the Aussie boys have travelled a long way to get here, their journey isn't quite as dramatic as those who are playing for Future Hope. the young lads from India who've come all the way from the streets of Calcutta to play rugby here in Singapore.
Well, we started Future Hope 30 years ago in Calcutta to take orphan street children off the streets and railway stations of the city. Really, children when they're on the streets, they're wild and they need to run back often. And one of the ways we managed to change their ideas and their thoughts was to teach them sport, teach them rugby.
Contact sport which they like it, because on the street, if you live in the street, they have to fight for a living. And when they come to Future Hope, and this is the ideal game for them, and then slowly rugby have discipline. I mean, everything, they change their life and they became a gentleman. The rugby builds characters.
Oh, the children are so excited. This is the first time that many of them, in fact all of them, have had passports. First flight ever in their lives. Everything was new to them. First time in a different country. First time outside of the city of Kolkata. This is the first time that an India team is playing. So we are in a way representing India. For Future Hope, rugby is not just transforming them on the field, but it's transforming lives. They go from here to becoming very responsible young people who then get on, travel to many countries, many places, and then they get good jobs and they're able to have a life, independent life of their own, and get out of the poverty cycle.
So our teams and players are coming from all over the world now to play in the TRC Cup. It would never be possible if it were not for the hard-working locals here at Tanglen who make it all happen. Those who work from morning till night to make this one of the best junior tournaments going round.
TRC is a family-run, volunteer-run club. The TRC Cup is probably the pinnacle of that volunteerism. These tournaments would not exist without volunteers at TRC, and those people need the highest accolade for their efforts.
I mean, this is one of the best, biggest, most amazing tournaments in Singapore. It's so well run. The volunteers that come and put this together, it's fantastic.
The thing I would say also that Tangling Rugby Club have been incredibly generous. We would not have been able to get here on our own. They've raised the sponsorship to get us out here. They have put us up. The whole, I mean, it's all done in a voluntary capacity. Incredibly generous and amazingly modest.